What's up, everybody? This is once again Dr. Remy LeBeau. I'm here in the Xler to once again provide you with some deep insight into your illness, the X-Men statue withdrawal syndrome. I know you've been dealing with some severe withdrawals during the holidays as a result of getting a lot of things you don't really want and not getting the things you truly desire, which are, of course, more X-Men statues. So here I am to once again help you get through the beginning of the new year. So happy New Year to everybody that's watching this for the first time in January of 2014, which is when I'm shooting it. And to everybody in the future, happy day, whatever day it may be. Evidently, it is not New Year's, unless it's New Year's like 2058, in which case, good luck with the Robo Apocalypse. Huh? Yeah, those machines are gonna kill you, so you might as well stop hiding. Um, so this is the brand new modern Rogue statue. It was released by Bowen Designs like 2 weeks ago. I actually got it 2 weeks ago, but I left for a holiday trip the day that it arrived, unfortunately, and so it was just sitting in my living room for 2 weeks, and I, went through severe depression as a result. I decided not to take part in Christmas, and I just went to hide in a cave for 2 weeks until I was finally able to return. No, that's not the case. I totally was fine with not having it, but I was super happy to finally get it when I came home yesterday and had it and clear classic original team Iceman waiting for me. So I had two brand new Bowen statues waiting for me, which was like really exciting. And now I have a nearly complete modern set of X-Men statues. The only one missing now is the soon to be released Astonishing Wolverine statue, which is coming out in January, late January, supposedly based on what the Bowen Designs website said. So as of right now, I've got Modern Rogue, I've got my custom Modern Storm, I've got Astonishing Cyclops, I've got Clear Emma Frost Modern, I've got Warpath, and I've got Magneto, the original Magneto statue. I thought that he fit in really well in the modern team since he did join the X-Men um, maybe a few years ago. So it looks fantastic. I took a shot of the display, which you can check out via the blog post by clicking right here. Um, and I'm just really happy about it. I'm happy to finally get this gal home. She is one that I've been waiting for a very long time. I really, really love this costume for Rogue. It's one of my favorite costumes for Rogue. I love the green and the white elements. I love the variety of X's on it. I love the scarf. I love the utility belt, and just, I mean, I'm a big fan of Rogue, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. So how could one that is so into such a character not love this statue, not get this statue, and not uh, permanently keep it in one's collection? That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know what you guys are gonna do. It's up to you. Hopefully, this video will elucidate some of the inherent value that this statue carries that may sway you if you are on the cusp of making the decision to buy it, or just reinforce your love of it, or reinforce your hate of it, whatever. I mean, everybody's got a different perspective on things. You may not like the statue. I officially love the statue. All right, so let's get to the logistics, shall we? So one of the followers on YouTube mentioned that maybe I should start like measuring the statues, just to give people like an idea of how big the statues are. So in case you're like looking to put them in a display or whatnot, and you don't want to buy it before you know if it fits in your display, then it would be useful for you to maybe get the dimensions. So here we go. Got my trusty tape measure here. Okay, so we're talking about a diameter on the base of about, I'd say, 5.5 inches. So if we're looking at the length and width, I mean, if this were to be a square, it would probably be about 5.5 inches on one side of a square. And as far as the height goes, let me see, we got, here we go, let's do this for you. You can Okay, so thinking about what, 17 and a half, roughly 17 and a half inches. So she's a tall one. Obviously, she is doing what Rogue does best, which is to fly. Even though several people have pointed out that at this point in time she no longer could fly, which is not necessarily true because she could absorb somebody's flying powers if she wanted to. So there was a point in time when Baby Hope, the first mutant born after decimation, I'm pretty sure Rogue touched her or something, and it just like completely filtered out all the powers and personalities that she had absorbed throughout the years. So she had been going nuts, and like that pretty much solved her problem, which was fantastic. And but left her like a changed mutant, you know, like she was not the same ex person that she was before. She she actually was more stable. I think as a result of that, she was able to like become a leader of a team, um, she was just more focused. She was happier, which was a good thing. I was happy for the character at that point, and yes, when she got this costume, she was not permanently flying, but it doesn't mean that she could not fly. And I love that she is flying because I love seeing Rogue fly, and a flying pose statue is always a nice thing to see. Soon I'm going to do a comparison of both this one and the classic Rogue statue that came out a couple of years ago, in which she's also flying. And it's a slightly different sort of construct as far as how the flying is represented. On this one, it's sort of more upright. The swoosh coming up from the base is a little more upright, and in this case, actually, the foot is actually connected to like the translucent swoosh effect, and then the swoosh is actually what is connected to the base. So the base comes separately. I took some photos of it. Of course, you can check those out on my blog. The swoosh comes separately. I'm going to carefully take this off to show you. I don't like taking this off, but I'm going to. Okay, so there it is. See, the swoosh comes separately. Now it's goes back in there, and it's nice and so the head also came separately, and it's kind of tricky to put the head on, but you can actually, I guess I can show it for you. I don't like to show it, but I'm going to do it because I'm adventurous. Okay, so the head comes off. Come on, head. It's attached, not only attached by a magnet. I'm not going to take it off because it's apparently too hard to take off, and I don't want to damage the statue. But essentially, you've got the scarf right here, and the head comes attached with it, so you need to kind of bring the head up over the arm and put the arm through the scarf and then place the head inside of the statue. There's a video on Bowen Design's website that shows you how to do it. And if you'd like me to actually do a video myself of that, I can help do it also. But I don't want to do it right now because she's securely fastened in her body, and I'm just going to leave her like that because that makes me feel a little bit more confident about the fact that I'm not going to damage the statue during the video. Okay, so let me get some details here. So this is number 15. Yay for number 15 of 1,000. There's 1,000 of these made. It was digitally sculpted by Jason Smith, who I'm pretty sure digitally sculpted the other... No, I don't know. No, I don't think he did the classic Rogue. I think that was done by the Kucherex or somebody. I forget who it was. But yes, this was a digital sculpture. And I remember, I think he did it on spec. Like Jason Smith, he wasn't commissioned to do it. He just kind of did it. And I think Randy Bowen eventually sort of decided, hey, this is a cool statue to make. Why don't we actually make it? And I'm glad he decided to do that because I really love it. It's super dynamic, beautiful. She looks fantastic. There's just every detail of her is it's what you want it to be. It's sort of plentiful. It's ubiquitous. All the awesome detail that you want from this costume of Rogue. So everything's as it should be, which makes me super happy. I don't know, somebody made a comment to me that they didn't like the face because the face sort of didn't seem comic accurate, but to be perfectly honest, like, okay, so she appeared like this basically throughout the last 3 or 4 years, up until maybe a year ago, Avengers versus X-Men, and Marvel now, when Marvel just basically decided to sort of revamp all their characters and change their looks and whatnot. She became part of Uncanny Avengers, which is like sort of the Avengers X-Men amalgamation book that's supposed to bring the two teams together, which is actually turning out to be fairly interesting. I'm really kind of liking that book. But before that, for like 3 or 4 years, she had this costume, and she was the central character in what was originally X-Men Volume 2, started by Jim Lee and Chris Claremont, and later became X-Men Legacy. And what the Legacy basically referred to was the fact that there was like an emphasis on a particular character's perspective throughout the book. First it was Xavier, and then it became Rogue. So Rogue was like the central character in Legacy for a very long time, and this is what she looked like, and she looked fantastic. And there were some really great covers of Rogue in this costume that I'm going to show you a couple of. So let me see. So there's this one, which is very cool. It's a cover with her and Gambit and Magneto, looking fantastic. This is during Regenesis. This is when so the mutants were living on Utopia, which was like Asteroid M, which became an island off the coast of San Francisco, off the San Francisco Bay, and it just became sort of like a haven for the mutants. And Cyclops and Wolverine had a little falling out, and there was the schism in which Wolverine decided to leave Utopia, take a bunch of young mutants with him, and start another school, the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning, back in Westchester, New York. So during this Regenesis period, you had all the characters sort of deciding where they were going to wind up, and then eventually X-Men Legacy ended, and so these are the last two issues, and these covers are gorgeous. You've probably seen the photos on my website. I have both of these printed out in very large canvas prints because I love them both. They're both done by Mark Brooks. This is number 274, the second to last issue of X-Men Legacy, and there you have her in this costume looking amazing. This is probably one of the best covers I've ever seen of any X-Men book. Love it. Amazing work by Mr. Mark Brooks. And then this might look familiar to you, since it's right behind me in the canvas print there. This is the very last issue of X-Men Legacy, and you can see she looks amazing in it, as well as all the other X-Men. And of course she's wearing this costume, and you can see even from these, like, her face is different in both of these. Like, there's her face, there's her face. So I mean, I don't know. I guess one could maybe critique the statue on the sort of features that the statue has, but I can't, because every artist has a different perspective on how the characters look. The characters have slightly changed their look throughout the various decades, depending on the artist, depending on the context in which they appeared. And so for me, I don't know. This is like the Jason Smith take on Rogue, and I'm happy with it. She looks beautiful. She's just gorgeous, and you just kind of have to get her at like the right angle in order to get, like the prettiest sort of look from her. Like, different angles give you different perspective. Anyway, it doesn't matter, because overall she looks amazing. Flying amongst the rest of the X-Men statues, stands out fantastically. There is one thing that I noticed, and I don't know how big of a factor this is for anybody. She seems to be slightly bigger in scale than the average Bowen statue, which I'm perfectly fine with, because if you elevate her amongst other statues, she does just kind of look like she's flying, and it kind of gives you sort of like a forced perspective sort of thing, where you're kind of looking down at the rest of the X-Men and you kind of have her in perspective. But I mean, that might be a problem for some people that might just want to they might want to display her side by side with other statues. I don't know. I don't have that problem. Super happy with it. Let's just talk about some of the details of this beautiful little statue that I'm so happy to finally have in my collection. Love the base. Super love the base. It's like a gray X base, and then it's got green cutouts, which is lovely. I love it when they really put attention to not just the sculpt, but also like the colors they use and like the color scheme, just to kind of bring out, just unify all the elements of the statue. Super great choice on this green here. Um, the swoosh is like this translucent green, and it gets darker as it gets to the boot. Fantastic. Looks like she just took off. Super sweet. I love the green that was used on the costume. It's very comic accurate. You can see here, like, there's that green. It's like that dark green, with like the light sort of highlights, and also dark highlights, which is lovely. All the other elements in the costume are white. Love the X's. I love these X's here. The one on her chest. The one thing I don't like, I mean, whatever, I'm just nitpicking now, but I wish the scarf was a little bit off to the side so you can see the X on her chest a little better, but who cares? Really, ultimately, who cares? I'm just nitpicking just because I'm here talking. Why not? Love the X belt. I love the pouches on her belt as well. Very cool. I don't exactly know what she carries in those pouches because, well, I mean, it's not like she has like pieces of other mutants that she can just touch to absorb their powers, even though that'd be really cool. But like, what does Rogue need pouches for? I don't know. But apparently she felt she needed them, so happy to have them. They look fantastic. Long gloves, as always, signature sort of costume elements for Rogue, since she can't touch people without absorbing their powers or energy, so really nice. Love how dynamic the scarf is. It's probably one of my favorite aspects of the statue is like the scarf. They really did not need to go all out with it. Could have been something very simple, just kind of off to the side or not as long, but they decided to go, pretty far with it. And, that creates a challenge for not only the packaging of the statue to make sure that it doesn't, it doesn't become damaged in transit to the collectors, but also to the collectors ourselves, who then have to maybe adjust our display in order to be able to display her properly without accidentally hitting the scarf in some way that could crack it or something. So, I mean, definitely a challenge on a variety of levels, but one that's totally worth it because it makes the statue look a lot cooler, if you ask me. Which you didn't, but I'm the one talking in this video, so I'm the one giving the opinion. So but of course you can all chime in on the comments if that is what you are interested in doing, because you have a different opinion about it. All good. Anyway, face, very pretty. She's got like kind of like an Eastern European thing going, which, who knows? Maybe Rogue has Eastern European descendancy. I don't know. Did we ever go into that? I mean, we know that that Mystique adopted her essentially, but do we know much about her birth parents? I don't know. Actually, that's something I maybe should know, but I don't know. And maybe one day I will find out, or maybe one day there'll be a huge story in which we find out that her parents are actually Aunt May and Uncle Ben, and she's actually Peter Parker's sister. I'm sure it'll happen. Anyway, as you can see, she's a very beautiful statue. If you're a Rogue fan, I don't see why, and you can afford it, of course. I don't see why you wouldn't pick her up. I mean, she's just lovely. And if you've got a few other modern statues, it doesn't look like Bowen's going to release the full Astonishing set. The final statue missing is... Oh, no. We need Colossus and we need Beast. And those two, I don't see... Hopefully Colossus will come out if Bowen Designs renews their license with Marvel. But I doubt Randy Bowen will do Beast. He seemed pretty resistant to the idea of doing Cat Beast. So... it's possible there will not be a completed Astonishing set, and thus, it would be a good idea for collectors that did sort of invest in the modern statues like Emma Frost, Cyclops, Kitty, and of course the upcoming Wolverine to get this statue. Also, it makes a nice set. And also there's Warpath. There's all the X-Force statues that could be displayed nicely with this statue, because it all falls into the same era. And of course, I think I already made Astonishing Cyclops. Of course, I think I already mentioned that one. Anyway, that's all that needs to be said about this statue. I'm pretty sure. I think I've said quite enough. So thank you all for checking out my video. My website is my blog, in which I have my photos, is X-Men Statues of Future Past.blogspot.com. My YouTube channel is Dr. Remy LeBeau's X-Lair. If you haven't already subscribed, you are invited to do so if you're interested in keeping up on some of the videos that I'm uploading. Since I have more videos to upload, I'd say I've got another 15 or so statues I need to document, and then there's a variety of like comparisons I need to do and some other sort of exploratory videos that should provide a little more insight into the potential that these X-Men statues have in a variety of contexts. All right, well, thank you so much once again. And as always, X in the box, because ain't nobody checking me. I'll see you all very soon. Take care, and bye-bye.